years, not because God forgot, but because God was forming them. In the wilderness, they had to unlearn the mentality of slaves before they could inherit the identity of sons. That delay wasn't a punishment, it was a process. They were being stripped of Egypt, stripped of idols, stripped of fear. And some of us are in that same wilderness, not because God has denied us, but because he's developing what eyes can't see and hearts can't yet handle. James 1:4 says, "But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing." Patience is not passive. Patience is prophetic. It produces something in you. It's not just about waiting. It's about how you wait. Are you waiting with worship or with worry? Are you waiting with gratitude or with grumbling? Because how you handle the waiting room determines what's waiting on you on the other side. Abraham was given a promise of a son, but it took 25 years before Isaac was born. In that waiting, Abraham learned how to trust, how to obey, how to surrender. Romans 4:20 says, he staggered not at the promise of God through unbelief, but was strong in faith, giving glory to God. Second, of faith doesn't develop overnight. It's forged through silence. It's birthed through seasons where nothing seems to be moving, but you still believe. God will test your ability to wait, not to weaken you, but to reveal what's real inside you.
Imagine being able to build anything, for any reason, in any style, at any.
Some of you are frustrated because your prayers haven't been answered yet. But what if God is doing something deeper? What if he's not just answering your request? He's aligning your character. God is more interested in what he's doing in you than what he's giving to you. If he answered every prayer on your timeline, you'd miss the miracle of transformation. You'd step into the blessing with a broken foundation. But when he takes his time, he heals what no one sees. He corrects what your pride would have ignored. He builds you in silence so that when the spotlight comes, you don't crumble under it. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, he hath made everything beautiful in his time, not your time, his time, because only he knows when the beauty is ready. A fruit picked too early is sour. A destiny stepped into prematurely is dangerous. God loves you too much to let you live underdeveloped. So when he delays something, it's not rejection, it's refinement. It's love, it's precision. It's the hand of the potter shaping the clay, even when the clay doesn't understand the spinning. David was anointed king as a teenager, but he didn't wear the crown until years later. Why? Because God had to prepare the king in David before he could give him the kingdom. That time in the wilderness, running from Saul, sleeping in caves, that was development. That was boot camp for destiny. And when David finally stepped into his role, he didn't just have oil on his head. He had fire in his heart. He was not just a king by appointment. He was a king by formation. So if it feels like God is taking too long, check your posture. Maybe he's letting patience finish its perfect work. Maybe he's deepening your dependence, cleansing your motives, solidifying your foundation. Maybe he's allowing some doors to close, not because you're disqualified, but because he's qualifying you for something greater. God's delay is never random. It's strategic. It's sacred. It's setting you up for a revelation of him you would have missed if he gave it to you too soon. You are not being buried. You are being planted. Unless a grain of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it produces much grain. John 12:24. When life pushes you down, when your dreams seem to disappear into the dirt, when people leave you, when your progress feels paralyzed and your purpose feels hidden, the enemy wants you to believe you've been buried, that it's over, that it's dark because God abandoned you. But the truth is, you haven't been buried, you've been planted. And planting feels just like burial.
My name is Thomas. I'm the CEO of the 14th fastest growing company in Canada. When it came to sexual addiction,
both are done in the dark. Both are covered, both are silent. But the difference is expectation. A burial is final. A planting is future focused. A burial says it's over. Planting says something is about to grow. John 12:24 isn't just about wheat. It's about kingdom principle. Death comes before life. Concealment comes before fruit. You must be planted to multiply. And that means there are seasons in your walk with God where he will hide you, where you'll feel unseen, unknown, maybe even forgotten. But that's where roots go deep. That's where faith is forged. That's where identity is refined. Because if God allowed you to sprout too early, you'd rise without roots. And anything that rises without roots will eventually fall under pressure. Colossians 2:7 says, rooted and built up in him and established in the faith. That rooting doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in the soil of surrender. It happens when the applause stops, when the platform disappears, when all you have is a word from God and dirt pressing around you. But it's in that dirt where God does his best work. He molds, he shapes, he protects, he nourishes. While others may have forgotten you, heaven is nurturing something powerful beneath the surface. You're in a development season, and development always happens out of public view. Nobody claps for the seed. Nobody celebrates the silence. But heaven does, because the seed is sacred. The soil is strategic. And what's growing in secret is being prepared for significance. There's something about the pressure of the dirt that kills pride. There's something about the isolation that kills the idol of people's opinions. There's something about not being seen that trains you to only care about being known by God. Isaiah 61:3 declares that God gives us beauty for ashes. That means something had to burn first. Something had to die before beauty could be born. Resurrection requires death. Glory requires crushing. Oil requires pressing, and the seed requires planting.
Wow. The seed requires what? Planting. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the call. Appreciate y'all for getting this word of faith with me. You know, we are in a season right now where we have to be extremely faithful. Good morning, everybody. We have to be extremely faithful. I hope y'all with me this morning. I hope that y'all are with me, and I hope you're sipping on something good. This morning, I'm doing this Ethiopian Idama coffee. And I'm drinking it black. You know, I got black coffee this morning. You know, I'm getting in my coffee bag. What can I say? All right. So good morning, everybody. Super grateful, super excited. If we could share this link out in Zoom, I think people already know it is what it is. Shout out to my mom. She got me this shirt when she went on vacation. I had to throw this one on this morning. We getting close to a vacation. All right, we're getting close to a vacation. You know, when I start putting on vacation, and I'm gonna be real with y'all, right? We're not gonna vacate. We're not gonna be going on vacations. All right. Let's make sure we share this Discord out too. But we're not gonna go on vacations, because when you look at the word vacation, you have a word in there that says vacate. And my question is, what are we vacating? You know, like as wealthy individuals, what are we vacating? You know, we're not vacating from anything. You know, I don't want to vacate. I don't want to do that. You know, so we're not vacationing. You know what I mean? I think that we got to find another word. We just living. You know, we're living. So I appreciate y'all for being here. My brother, Victor Brown, he said that living water before the coffee, someone displaying the right priorities. Absolutely. All right. Absolutely. I believe that, you know, you have to have the proper foundation, and a spiritual foundation, right? The spiritual foundation is more important than any foundation. Shout out to everybody that's on YouTube. YouTube does very well. And I've heard that YouTube is a little easier to use, you know, for people that are at work. You know, I know we've been doing this call for a while at 10 a.m. Most people are sitting at work. Most people are, you know, or getting the kids together for school. But we just want to say thank you for always taking the time to at least show up. And even for the ones that are not able to watch it, I see the views on YouTube going up, and it means a lot. So I want to say thank you all. If I can ask for one more thing, if we can just really, just as a team, as a unit, right? Like the videos, right? If you're seeing this recording, I promise you, you can like it ahead of time, right? Listen. They said that you know, we should like it ahead of time. I promise you. You guys are about to really enjoy today's show. I got some deep dive research to go through with you all. Some research myself to go through. So today's a research day for me. So you all are going to actually watch me research. watch me go through some things. A lot of the stuff that that we're going to find out together, it's not even me pre-planning the show, but more of me discovering things with you. So if you're ready for that, light me up with some coffee. Shout out again, shout out to YouTube. I see y'all, man. The call is already growing. And if you've already liked the video, which I see most people have, the only other thing is just share it out, right? There's a little button right there at the bottom of your screen on your phone or your computer. It says share with a little arrow pointing to the right. You can click that, copy the link. You can click that, send it out to your text message threads, and just let somebody know that the quantum wealth transfer has begun. And when I tell you it has begun, my family's feeling it, right? Your family should be feeling it. And if your family's not feeling the quantum wealth transfer just yet, we have a 6-week boot camp that is coming up here very soon. Our 6-week boot camp really dives deep into a lot of very important, things. Would love for you all to join us. Okay. I know that maybe you don't know, maybe you're new and you don't know what our 6-week boot camp is. What I want you to imagine is this, right? Imagine you spending 6 weeks to go through a year's worth of content, right? So I found a strategic way to turn 12 months of value into a 6-week intense course, right? We go from A to pay. All right. Everything from getting your cryptos, protecting your cryptos, understanding your game plan as to your strategy for exiting and entering the markets. We go over those things. We also go over how to actually do the research like we do. What are the best platforms? All those things. We also go through certain sectors like DePIN and DeFi. I believe that DePIN and DeFi are two of the most important sectors in the digital asset space, but DePIN is very important. DeFi is extremely, extremely important, right? And I want you all to really, if you haven't challenged yourself to get into any DeFi pools, I'd highly recommend that if you don't know about it, go ahead and take this 6-week boot camp because it could only make you more money. It could only yield you more than what you understand now, right? So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into today's show because we do have quite a good amount of content to cover. I'm going to reset our crypto coin market cap website, and let's take a look at what we actually see. Okay, so as you can see, first off, let's just look at XRP as a whole. Okay, we're going to look at XRP over the last, let's go 30 days, right? We're going to look at XRP over the last 30 days, and that will be on the monthly chart. Okay, and as y'all can see, we literally ran from the lowest level being around $2.09, and we ran all the way up to about $3.61, right? So $2.09 to $3.61 is huge. So now we're experiencing what? A pullback after we went sideways. Typically, family, without even looking at a real chart, we all should know that when the market rallies from $1 to the next dollar, it may not seem like a lot to you all, but there were a lot of millionaires made, right? In this, there are a lot of 100,000 heirs made in this increase alone right here. So you got to realize that after these millionaires that's been holding XRP since it was less than a penny, right? Like literally, there's people that was buying XRP the same way that we're buying ZBEC Network, the same way that we're looking at Bank Social as an asset, right? There's people that was purchasing it and they have $1 million plus XRP. You better believe that, right? So if I had $1 million plus XRP at $3.13, family, I'm gonna be real with y'all. $3.61, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm pulling something out of that, right? 100 grand, 200 grand, because I'm up over $3 million at that point, right? So it only makes sense. So you can't be selfish because you didn't get in at less than a penny. You can't be selfish because you got in at $2.17 and you didn't see the value of getting out here, but other people did. And that's why we're seeing the market pushing down. So remember, this is just healthy. This is a healthy pullback. We saw XRP run up about 60 to 70% in the last month, right? And then we watched it pull back to where we're now up 43% in the last month. Okay, so this is very important, and it's a very important concept to investing to understand this. Okay, Really, it is. Okay. And I hope that you all understand where I'm coming from. I do want to take the time to shout out our top fans live on our show this morning. Our number one is Lil Vic Brick. All right, Lil Vic Brick. Appreciate you. We have T Pat coming in at number 2. We have Brian Carter, number 3. Tandra coming in at number 4. We got Valerie Signature Salon coming in at number 5. Craw Billy's in number 6. Tammy at number 7. And Hype Man at number 8. If you want to know how you can increase your top fandom, all you got to do is comment, like, share this video out, and it just gives you more points. I want you all to get used to engaging with us at Coffee and Crypto, because we are going to have incentives soon, right? We're going to have a way that we're going to gamify going into 2026, this entire system. You all are going to win our tokens that we're going to create. You're going to win free coffee. You're going to win merch. You're going to win free event tickets that we'll have. There's going to be a lot of things, but only the people that will win are the people that engage with us. So if you all like the sound of that and you would like to win some free things with us, just light us up with some coffee real quick all over the internet, and let's keep the love flowing. Okay, so again, XRP is experiencing a very good pullback. And as you can see, if we just put this little white line across the screen, we had a retest of this resistance right here as support over here. So we already see that we've retested, and XRP either will continue to go back down into maybe the $2 realm, $2 and something, or we continue to push up. There's a lot of information out right now about ISO 20022, and we're going to continue to follow this process. Nothing changes. No, we don't go to talk about meme coins now. No, because right now is the time for extreme utility, y'all. Any project that you're investing into, you should be looking at its utility, its partnerships, and where the future could potentially go in. So with that being said, I'm going to take a sip of this coffee. Hopefully you all will cheers with me this morning as we take a cheers to our success. All right. And take a cheers to yourself, because you are doing it in real time. This is so good. I really do. I've never liked black coffee before, y'all. And the taste profile on some of these really specialty single origin blends is really good. I can't wait for y'all to taste it, long story short, okay, for the coffee drinkers out there. I don't mean to continue to tease y'all, but it really is good. Let's go ahead and jump into our charts. So I'm looking at the charts right now, and as y'all can see, y'all can see that Bitcoin has moved sideways, right? And we have been consolidating within this zone. This is very, very extremely important, because I'm going to show you a couple of things. We had a breakout of this key area. We had a retest, and we went up to create the all-time high for Bitcoin. Of course, there were a lot of people that made some money and they got out, and we fell back down to this level of support. Okay, and then ever since then, we've just kind of been bouncing between. Now, this was our fake out, because if we go to the daily candle, I want y'all to see. Y'all see how that wick comes up, hits, but the body closes below this green level, and now we've just kind of been moving sideways right here. All right, a lot of people are impatient, but this is where the money is made. I'm getting ready to get into a new trade, right? I can see my trade set up right now, right? And this is why I think it's very important that you all learn how to trade. Now, something that we will be doing, because our next 6-week boot camp after this July one will not be about holding crypto. Okay, this next 6-week boot camp that we're going to do moving into September and October, it's going to be a technical analysis boot camp. If there's anybody that could actually use a technical analysis boot camp, just write the word TA. Write the word TA, so I'll know that people might be, not saying that you will be at the time, because I know finances, again, everybody will be at different levels at that time. But if you think that a technical analysis boot camp would do you some justice, where we'd have Sana, myself, probably a couple of other leaders like Matt. Okay, we're probably going to come together, put some stuff together, and we will be teaching you all exactly the blueprint to get to your bag on a day-to-day. If that's something that you'd be interested in, all you have to TA, the letters T and A, and we'll definitely start the process of figuring out what that would look like. Okay, but we will have another boot camp after this next boot camp. So if not, hopefully see y'all there. And if not, you already know. We'll see y'all on the next one. Okay. So again, we are now in the quantum financial reset. And my boy John actually dropped this. Shout out to John. Everybody lighted up for John. But John actually dropped this list. And I didn't know where he got this list from, but as soon as I got into Twitter, because my Twitter is probably geared the same way his Twitter is geared, right? What we ended up doing was I found this as soon as this was like the second or third post. Okay, no problem, no problem. And actually, how about this? How about this? Before we move forward, because we had like 2 people that did comment TA. So if you could do me a favor, because I just want to keep y'all in mind. I'm not going to reach out to you right now because we still got to get through the next boot camp. But if you want me to keep you in mind, to reach out to you when we get started on promoting that technical analysis, you can just text me the word TA to the number 678-460-6504. Again, that number is 678-460-6504. 678-460-6504. Just text me the word TA so I can stay organized and I can reach out to you all, when that time comes, because I promise you the technical analysis boot camp is going to be off the chain as well. Okay. It doesn't stop here. Okay. So the quantum financial reset looks something like this. Now, this is not guaranteed, but it's a good start, right? Ripple, the actual company, will become the world bank. RLUSD, which is their stable coin, will become the digital backed US dollar stable coin, right? The XRP ledger will become the new financial system as a whole, right? Because you got to remember the current financial system, right? The current financial system actually sits, family. The current financial system actually sits on a system as well, a rail, right? The XRP ledger is nothing but a payment rail. So that's something that I want y'all to realize, that the XRP ledger is a payment rail. So is Swift, right? It's a payment rail, right? So XRP ledger will be the new financial system or the new financial payment rail. XRP, the asset, will be the world reserve bridge currency. XDC will be the world trade financing system. XLM will be the world unbanked P2P network. Okay, this will be used a lot in third world countries. HBAR will be the world post quantum. So we're talking about post quantum technology. You gotta have HBAR. Quant is going to be the world network infrastructure. DAG is going to be the military data security system. Algorand is going to be where the real world asset tokenization will happen. Now, again, it's through a lot of different platforms, but Algorand has so many RWA platforms in the, the regenerative finance, just all types of stuff, right? IOTA will deal with Internet of Things for digital identities. Okay. ADA, which is Cardano, self-governance. Stronghold, which a lot of you all should have, is for Web3 ACH banking. Okay, if y'all understand, ACH banking is extremely huge. That's called a wire transfer. So Stronghold is going to be the wire transfer of the new Web3 banking infrastructure, right? Flare is going to be the DeFi Oracle protocol. Axel will be the interoperability bridge. I believe, ZBCN will be the Web3 instant payroll settlement system. Link or Chainlink will be the CCIP Oracle, and Songbird will be the Canary protocol. Okay, so this is what we are looking at. And if we pull up this diagram right here, the ABDC use QR codes, addresses, and trade over distributed ledger technology, as you can see, right? This is how the flow is going to go. So you got QFS clouds, which is quantum financial system clouds, which is, if you wanted to know, well, this is why, what are QFS clouds for? Well, it's very important, right? Because if you look at Hedera Hashgraph and the work that they're doing with Dell and NVIDIA and Intel, that work that they're doing over there is extremely important for right here, right? It's very important for this. And also, remember, Hedera is also working with SpaceX, right? And to send those satellites into orbit, which we already have post-quantum satellites that are in orbit right now. If you look right here, it says the Space Force Alliance, right? Remember, the Space Force was the newest military brigade or the military force in the United States. The Space Force was the last one. Okay, they're the guardians of the galaxy. Y'all thought Guardians of the Galaxy was just a movie. No, no, no. This is a real thing. And so the Space Force is the Guardians of the Galaxy, and Hedera Hashgraph is working with the Guardians of the Galaxy. And if y'all wanted to know, why did Vincent call Hedera Hashgraph alien technology? Well, now maybe you start to have an understanding as to why we call it alien technology, because this technology is the only technology that's in blockchain that is currently out of space. It's crazy. All right. Crazy, crazy, crazy work. Okay. I hope y'all following me, man. All right. And also remember to text me. I see those TAs. Make sure y'all text me. Make sure y'all text my phone number because I got to lock y'all in. Okay. So now that we've talked about the system and the financial reset, I asked ChatGPT what this means. And, it gave me some good stuff. This is what it said about ZBET. It's not widely known yet. Some people may still refer to it as ZBC or, because they added the ZBC the N on it later on, maybe like last year or something, right? So some people still call it certain things, okay? But y'all get ready for this quantum wealth transfer. Now, another bank is opening the crypto gates. And y'all remember when I said it, right? I told you all that bank after bank after bank in 2025, rolling into 2026, will start to come out, each CEO. And we've seen certain banks do that. And again, y'all, every time I tell y'all what happens for some blessed reason, right? Because it ain't unfortunate, we're usually right. So that is like one of our power plays here at Coffee and Crypto is we're right a lot, right? A lot of stuff. It may take a little time, right? But that is a part of faith, right? Having now faith, because now faith also requires time, right? So KeyCorp CEO on the regulation of cryptocurrency through their bank. Hope you all learn.
Stablecoin and crypto, how are you feeling about getting in and using it as potentially a platform and option for your clients?
I mean, it's early, but I think it has a lot of promise, and particularly around stablecoin. And obviously, the Genius Act was just last week. But when you think about stablecoin, there's really a few things. There's the institutional piece, which will be the equivalent of like prime brokerage. That will be dominated by a single handful of international banks. The huge volume, relatively narrow margins. That's not really an opportunity or a challenge for us. The next is as a store of value. And clearly, to the extent, Sarah, that our clients want it and they want to hold it in their wallets, we will accommodate that. And so we'll be sure to do that. Then there's the sort of discussion around, is it going to cannibalize deposits at banks? I actually think that's a fair, I think it's a threat, but I don't think it's an immediate threat. And I think the industry will respond. I mean, whether it's with tokenized deposits, which I think you'll see banks like Key do, and you may well see, I don't envision Key issuing a coin per se, but I could see us as part of a consortium of banks that issues a coin.
Wow.
I think the two best applications are really international payments, right? I don't envision Key issuing a coin per se, but I could see us as part of a consortium of banks that issues a coin. And then I think the two best applications are really international payments. Right now, international payments are sort of this Byzantine approach of, all these correspondent banks. It takes a long time. There's a lot of friction. I think stable coins could be a really good solution for our clients. It could be faster, cheaper, better.
It could be faster, cheaper, better. But none of the metrics on this screen are faster, cheaper, or better. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin are not faster. They're not cheaper, and they're not better, right? So, as of quarter 4 of 2024, this is from ChatGPT. Key Corp Bank confirmed that their AUM, which is assets under management, hit a record $61 billion across its advisory, wealth, and trust businesses during the year of 2024. Okay. Their investment portfolio has 47.6 billion. Coming together, the asset size is $189 billion. I believe that this is going to be huge, y'all. And you heard what he said about a consortium of banks coming out with some type of coin. More than likely, it's going to be a stable coin, and we're going to dive more into that today. Okay. One more thing that I wanted to show you, something else I wanted to show you all was this right here because I didn't have it pulled up. But Brad Garlinghouse actually commented. He said, ICYMI in the midst of all regulatory goodness. Last Friday, Blue Chip Org, which is an independent stablecoin rating agency. Okay, let's just real quick. Let's go over to their Twitter real quick and let's see what they have on here, y'all. Right? Look at this, y'all. They posted this on July 18th, but they're the number one, company about stable coins. And just like that, they listed RLUSD, which is Ripple stablecoin, as the number one ranked stablecoin in the world. And they're out of Vienna, Austria. Okay, they're out of Vienna, Austria, not Australia, but Austria, family. Okay, and so if you go over to their website, I want y'all to take a look. Blue Chip, the standard for stable coin safety. Okay, understand that. Look at that right here, y'all. RLUSD Ripple comes in at number 1. Okay, liquidity LUSD, right? Circle comes down. Circle has a B+ grade. That's crazy, y'all. Circle has a B+ grade. PayPal stablecoin has an A-. Okay, but let's go find Tether. Tether has a D grade. June 4th, 2023 was the last date of the rating. Okay, so it was a while ago. Okay, it definitely was. However, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I can't tell you. I can't tell you because it's my first time ever being on Blue Chip. But I just wanted to show y'all what they thought. Okay, they don't see, even though USDT and USDC are ranked higher on coin market cap, when you come over to a real safety standard for stable coins, we see what Ripple is number 1. Hey, listen, y'all. It's already done. It's up now. Anybody excited about that? Anybody excited to see Ripple sitting in the number 1 position? I know I am. So now let's go ahead and dive into a little content on Twitter. Shout out to Smoke Dog. Okay, he always drops some good stuff. Okay, so I'm going to start right here. ISO 20022 coins like HBAR, XRP, and XLM likely to keep outperforming as fewer regulatory hurdles allow more capital to flow into these platforms. Read closely. This is documented. Let's see what was highlighted in this document. Among the 20 index constituents, layer 1 coins from the previous cycle have outperformed the rest in the previous quarter, with Hedera, XRP, and Stellar leading. These assets, hold on. Okay, these assets have faced scrutiny from regulatory authorities over the years. Okay, as securities, these assets are likely to operate with less regulatory scrutiny, attracting both investor speculation and capital. Okay, you all are in before that happens. Continue to pay attention. We're not done here. Let's go up a little bit here. Okay, so now this right here is a PDF from June 2022, Morgan Welling, okay, from ISO paper. Okay, wherever this is from ISO paper, wherever that is. But it says that ISO 20022 recognized coins will receive higher trading volumes than other cryptocurrencies, the true winners after the bubble bursts. Remember, if you take a look back at the stock market, family, and we take a look at 99, 2000, and 2001, okay? A lot of us was distracted because Genuine and what's them boys called? Genuine and no, not Genuine, Juvenile and dang man, I can't think. Juvenile and somebody gonna get me with the name of the group, but Juvenile and those boys, they said one thing, right? They said representing from the 99 and the 2000s. And when they was representing from the 99, 2000s, y'all was more focused on the song than the stocks. All right. And we really could have been represented, okay, for the 99 Hot Boys. That was it. That's what I needed right there. The Hot Boys, okay, the Hot Boys. Okay. So the Hot Boys, okay, made it so hot then that y'all didn't even see what was going on. All right. Don't let that happen again. All right. Now, when this bubble bursts, because the bubble burst in the early 2000s for the dot-com bubble. After that, a bunch of companies were acquired or they went out of business, right? They were acquired or they went out of business. When they went out of business or they were acquired, there was only a couple of companies left. Those are the companies that you see today that are leading the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones. These are the companies, right? So when we really think about it, family, okay, when we really think about it, same thing's going to happen right here. Right now, I want y'all to pay attention. There is, and I want y'all to just really recognize how blessed we really are. Okay, let me show y'all how blessed we really are. Let's go to CoinMarketCap. Okay, I'm not sure why it's not popping up, but one thing I will tell you is the crypto market is still under a $4 trillion market. Okay, now even with $4 trillion being in the market, imagine if a bunch of companies by the end of 2026 start to disappear and not be around anymore because of regulatory clarity and buyouts, right? Imagine if that happens. That $4 trillion is not, it's going to flow somewhere, right? It's not just going to just like disappear. So that means it's going to flow into whatever cryptocurrencies are left standing. Here's where you need to pay attention. Cryptocurrencies accepted into the ISO payment system will gain the ability to be utilized in international transactions between financial institutions. Let's go down here and read so that y'all don't think that Vincent just be making this stuff up, because I find stuff right here. Okay, check this out. Making a Ripple XRP, cryptocurrencies participating in the ISO payment ecosystem for international transactions. Okay, let's read right here. Okay, it says the singles biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. International banks and businesses communicating in different languages must be able to send payment information to one another in a seamless, uniform system. This requires financial institutions around the world communicating in a common language. Today, the emerging standard for sending international payment communication is ISO 20022. The ISO system allows financial institutions to share enhanced payment information more quickly, improving the customer experience. Until recently, the ISO payment system precluded cryptocurrencies from participating. The release of digital token identifier standards transformed that, allowing cryptocurrencies to be recognized as legitimate currency under the ISO system. Cryptocurrencies accepted into the ISO system will gain the ability to be utilized in international transactions between financial institutions. As a result, ISO recognized cryptocurrencies will achieve higher trading volumes, a historical problem preventing cryptocurrency from gaining widespread acceptance. Therefore, cryptocurrencies that participate in the ISO system will emerge like a phoenix from the ashes. I put that in there. from the cryptocurrency bubble victoriously. How does that sound, family? That sound good? Anybody okay with that? Anybody good with that? Right? Now, let's talk about Ethereum real quick, right? Let's talk about Ethereum, right? Despite the increasing adoption of stablecoins, several significant barriers hinder their growth, okay? Regulatory uncertainty remains one of the most prominent challenges, discouraging adoption by both individual users and institutions. For instance, highlighted that existing Ethereum token standards fail to meet key regulatory requirements, such as ISO 20022 compliance, which is critical for institutional payment adoption. Why do y'all think I don't own Bitcoin or Ethereum? I don't own either. All right. All right. Cool. Now let's move on to the next slide with Smoke Dog. Okay, this one is really, really good. Pay attention. It said BNY Mellon, which is a huge bank, says that ISO 20022 will spread like internet protocols. Banks must comply or risk being cut off. If the banks do not comply to this new standard, they will be cut out. The broad-based adoption of ISO 20022 will look more like an industry convention than a regulatory mandate, much like the emergence of internet protocols at the turn of the century. Even without a regulatory stick, banks and firms either comply with the change in formats of market infrastructure or they risk losing access. This is literally on the BNY Mellon website. This is not a joke. Let's keep pushing back. Let's keep going back. Pay attention. Failure to adopt to ISO 20022 will lead to negative long-term consequences. This is a mandate. We are so blessed, y'all, that we listened. Look, watch this, y'all. It says that panelists, this was like some type of discussion. Panelists, I could have went and found all these articles as well. I just didn't have time. So we're just going to take them as they are. But it says panelists discussed an industry stakeholder groups initiative to explore adoption of the standard, international messaging standard for electronic payments in the US. Even without a clear business case, the group recommended transitioning to ISO 20022 because a failure to adopt international standards could have negative long-run impacts on businesses, banks, and even the US dollar. And you know they're not going to allow that to happen, right? They're not going to allow that to actually happen, okay? So just wanted to kind of take y'all through this. Here's another one, right? So why did Swift select these 8 digital assets, aka cryptocurrencies, for ISO 20022 integration? These 8 tokens each solve important problems with the old Swift payment system. All 8 tokens combine faster, cheaper, more transparent. Hold on. Faster, cheaper, more transparent. Vincent, what are you talking about? Faster, cheaper, more transparent. What are you talking about, Vio? Well, there was a video that we had that I had pulled up, and let me go over to my bookmarks real quick. Let's pull it back up real quick. Faster, cheaper, more transparent. Let's go back to this.
Getting in and
Let's go right here. At the end of this video.
Byzantine approach of, all these correspondent banks. It takes a long time. There's a lot of friction. I think stable coins could be a really good solution for our clients. It could be faster, cheaper, better.
Faster, cheaper, better. All right, Vincent. So let's go back here now. So all 8 tokens handle that. Each also brings unique features that make it essential to addressing Swift's slow, costly, and opaque payment processes. As the financial world adopts this new standard, these 8 platforms will be consistently chosen as the technology that new systems are deployed on. So let's go ahead and click on this bad boy right here. Let's pull this up right here. Boom. Okay, and I'm going to zoom in for y'all because all I gotta do is zoom. That's right here. It's from November 2022. This is from the ASO Banca Law Journal. Okay, so let's move down right here. It says regarding the second issue, there are platforms that have seen a niche market, right, to be covered by the shortcomings of the traditional Swift system and have been enhanced with the inclusion of ISO 20022. This is the case, for example, of Ripple, which in 2022 announced its accession to the ISO standard, becoming the first member with a DLT. Okay, with their RippleNet and the use of blockchain tech and APIs, they offer a faster and cheaper cross-border payment system through their XRP token, solving common problems of the traditional regime in terms of speed, liquidity management, compensation, transparency. Currently, 7 cryptocurrencies have been officially reported compatible, right, with the ISO standard. Stellar, XDC, XRP, QNT, HBAR, Algorand, IOTA, Cardano. Therefore, more will be heard about these initiatives and projects as the migration processes, and more companies will come on board. It says the principle of online payment system is basically that the procedure does not take place directly between the buyer and seller, but through a mediator. That's the first problem. We are about to change that where everything becomes more peer-to-peer. Okay. Saw this post right here on Twitter. Okay, shout out to ZBack Network doing the doggone thing on today, actually, y'all, at 3:30 today. Hopefully, y'all tune in to this right here. But this will be, they're gonna have a RWA and payments edition spaces with the COO of ZBack and the CSO of Algorand. This is happening today, y'all. So I think that this will be an extremely bullish conversation. And if you want, you can go to ZBack Network and you can set the reminder the same way I did. That way you are reminded of what is going on. Okay. Now, I want y'all to listen to this next video because remember, we keep talking about how these institutions are moving into the system. Well, here's another premium example.
Well, yeah, so lots of excitement over stablecoins because of what just passed last week, the Genius Act. And so notably, Citigroup, Bank of America, JP Morgan talking about issuing their own stablecoin. But what stablecoins can't do, and they don't do, is actually offer a yield. So part of the solution, and that BNY and Goldman Sachs, the reason why they're so excited about this innovation is that, if they have a future in which all these assets reside in the blockchain, they're going to be institutional players now. We're talking about hedge funds. We're talking about pensions. We're talking about, about corporate treasurers. We're going to want to have a yield. And so it's essentially taking the money market, industry, which is 7.1 trillion, bringing it to the blockchain and making it transferable in a way.
So help me understand this. How is this then different than a dollar, a cash,
money,
or a short-term treasury bill, T-bill?
Yeah.
Well, what is this? Why do we need this?
Okay.
I know I'm dense. I'm struggling.
Yeah, it's good to talk about, Ryan. So there is the idea, and it's not supported by everybody, that essentially you're going to have a stable coin with a yield as a result of this. And actually, some people are proponents of that. They think that's a good thing.
But how are they getting a yield? They're buying short. They're buying.
Well, it's just a money market. You've got money markets when you're in,
So the yield's going to be like 1 cent, infinitesimal, effectively.
I'm getting close to 3.84%. Yeah, if you go for a money market with a high yield, you can do that. Yeah, and so there is a decent yield on this. Corporate treasurers would want to put their cash instead of having it 0%, actually earning a yield close to 3-4%. That's the reason why they would want to do it. And so this is taking this asset, which is well trusted. It's gained maybe 2 trillion in the last 2 or 3 years, the rate hiking cycle, and turning it into a token.
Man. So let's pull up this article right here. ArchX makes Aberdeen Money Market Fund accessible and transferable on Algorand blockchain using Quantage EURD electronic money token. Now, I'm going to copy this right here, Aberdeen Money Market Fund, and I'm going to go over to here real quick, and then I want to say AUM, Assets Under Management. Let's see how big this particular ArchX, thing could be. Okay, so Sterling Money Market Fund. This is the Great British Pound, right? Aberdeen Sterling Money Market Fund, as of mid-July 2025, have a total fund size of 935.9 million in pounds, right? Which obviously would be $1 billion probably in the US currency. Okay. So as you can see earlier in 2023, the Aberdeen tokenized a portion of its Luxembourg domicile sterling money market fund, which had an AUM of around $15 billion. And however, only part of the fund was tokenized via Hedera and ArchX. So they've already, again, they have already tokenized this money, a portion of this 15 billion or 20 to 22 billion US dollars. They've already tokenized it on Hedera, right? So I can't make this stuff up. Look at this, ArchX, Algorand, in this company right here, y'all. And remember, Algorand has what? They have this ZBEC network partnership that we talked about, right? Huge, huge, huge news. So don't forget, y'all, okay? Again, Hedera is going to be a major mainnet for tokenized money market funds. ArchX is just the beginning, but you're going to have BlackRock, Fidelity, State Street, Aberdeen, LGIM, and so many other companies that are also going to tokenize on the Hedera ecosystem. Okay. And then last but certainly not least, this is a Ripple press release, came out yesterday. Vert launches blockchain-based platform for structured credit, right? Recording BRL 700M issuance on the XRP ledger. I don't know what this is, but let's take a look real quick. Vert, one of Brazil's leading securitization and fund management companies, has launched a blockchain-based platform for managing private credit operations built on XRP ledger. Okay. The platform is developed to digitally mirror securitization and fund operations with on-chain records of key events and transactions. The goal is to help make Brazil's capital markets more efficient. Wow. The platform's first live transaction is the issuance of an agribusiness receivable certificate valued at Brazil 700 million or $130 million in US dollars. Okay, that's not that much money, right? And that's probably why, again, $130 million is like a test amount for a lot of these companies. They're worth way more, right? They're worth way more. So when you look at this right here in the Latin America sector of blockchain, Ripple has always been a major leader. And that's extremely exciting. Okay, so, I hope that you all learned something from today's show. I definitely appreciate you all for taking the time to tune in. If you have anything that you would like to say or share, or you have any questions, we're going to open up our Q&A time right now. And as I wait for any questions, I wanted to leave you all with a couple of announcements. Announcement number one is our next boot camp will begin this Monday coming up. That means that today and tomorrow is the last day that you can register for $1,000. You all missed the $500 registration. You missed the $800 registration. Hell, are you gonna miss the $1,000 registration? Because you need this boot camp. I promise you. I promise you're gonna need the boot camp, and it's going up to $2,000 this weekend, going into the next week. I really don't care if I sell another boot camp, to be real with y'all. That's why I'm increasing the price to $2,000, because I believe people have had more than enough time to be able to register for this boot camp. The boot camp is a 6-week boot camp. It is completely online. We will have potentially in-person options, but I will keep you all. But either way, it will be via Zoom. You all will be able to tune in. Okay. If you're interested in our boot camp, which is literally in the next couple of days, and you want to take advantage of the 50% discount that we have, think about it. $1,000 for 6 weeks. I want y'all to do the math on that. And I want y'all to see really how you're really taking advantage of me, because I don't like it, honestly. But I just want to make sure people have what they need. But $1,000 divided by 6 weeks is $166, right? $166 a week to learn million to billion dollars worth of game and how to utilize these systems is completely cheap. Like for real. Like honestly, like I'm just being real. If you pay less than $1,000, you should feel great about it. But shit, you should also send me some more money. To be real, send me some more bread, because you're gonna make it all back. If you don't think you're gonna make $500 to $1,000 in this space, then you definitely don't want to be on this call, because that's a guarantee. I made that type of money in like a day last week, so you all can do it as well. Okay. So if you're interested, you can text me at the number, okay, 678-460-6504. Again, that number is 678-460-6504. And you can comment the word boot camp, and I will do, I will get you registered while we still have seats at $1,000. Okay. Make sure you all hit me up. I don't see any hands raised, which is perfectly okay, because I'm about to go to the gym and get ready for my next meeting. But I really do appreciate y'all. Thank you for taking the time to be here. And with that being said, cheers to each and every single one of y'all. And I will see y'all on